vessels unto honor, gold, silver, unlike wood and mud. Anyone who is going to be a vessel unto honor in the hands of God must be tough. He must be someone who can endure. I'm sure that's why they chose this special day when we are having the military and the police with us. In 2 Timothy chapter 2 verse 3, 2 Timothy chapter 2 verse 3, the Bible talks about enduring hardness as a good soldier of Christ. I wanted to be a soldier. It's my mother who didn't allow me. And I told her that I wanted to join the army after I graduated. She said to me, "You are my only son. I'm not asking you not to join the army. Just wait till I die. And you have buried me, then you can do whatever you want." That was in the 1960s. By the time he died in 1990, it was already too late for me to join the army. But I love the army. Maybe another time I will tell you the reasons why. Because I love the army. I watched every film, every cinema, anything that had to do with the military. And I'm telling you, I saw what changed the civilian. And they have a name for those of us who are civilians. To the Iron Men. You see them in beautiful dresses. They look nice. Huh? Maybe you should check what goes on from the day they enlist till the day they begin to march in ceremonial dress. You will know what is called hardness. You will know what is called endurance. Somebody said something along that line in 1 Corinthians chapter 9, from verse 24 to 27. 1 Corinthians 9, from verse 24 to 27. Paul spoke about how if you want to be a winner, you must endure rigorous self-discipline. Like in 2 Corinthians chapter 11 from verse 23 to 24, 2 Corinthians 11, 23 to 24, one of the things he mentioned is fasting often. You want to be a vessel unto honor in the hand of God? You will love fasting more than you love food. And then, because of time, there are certain things every vessel unto honor has in common with another. Something that you will find is present in every soldier, every paramilitary officer, every police officer. They have certain things in common. Number one, instant obedience. I thought somebody would say amen to that. Because it is true. And Jesus Christ made it clear. You want to be a vessel unto honor? Fine. John 15 verse 14. John 15 verse 14. You are my friends if you do whatsoever I command you. Whatsoever. A vessel unto honor obeys first. If he has any complaint, he can complain later. That is if the complaint is allowed. Those of you who are civilians, I'm a civilian, but more on the military side. Do you know that when your senior officer gives you a command, and you feel you should put in a word, you have to get permission. You have to say, permission to speak, sir. And if the officer said permission denied, that's the end of the story. I thought the soldiers around would say amen to that. I believe I'm speaking the truth. You obey, that is the thing. And if there is anything that is lacking in the life of many Christians, why they are not vessels unto honor, is because they just don't learn how to obey. For example, the Lord gave us a command at the beginning of the year. He said his church must double every three months. It's not an advice. It's a command. And that command now I want to put it in a more pleasant way for you. Every one of us, members of the Redeemed Christian Church of God in particular, from this moment onward, every month you must win a soul. It's an order. It's not an advice. It's not an appeal. It's an order from our commander-in-chief. And you want to be a vessel unto honor? The first thing that must be driven into that your little head is obedience. And when God says, do, you do. Don't, you don't. Why? Because God knows the future more than you do. He knows what is best for you. And at times, God will give you a command that will sound completely unreasonable. But don't forget, He's the all-knowing God. When I was preparing this little sermon, I remembered an occasion that a story I've told you, some of you before. I went home on holidays. I went to my village. And when I got to the village, in my own house, they prepared pounded yam for me. And you know me and pounded yam. And they prepared pounded yam, very good combination of okra soup with bushmeat. Oh God. And I was not fasting. So I prayed, Lord, bless this food. And I heard from God, son, don't eat. I know his voice, so I can't pretend that I didn't know who was speaking. But I pretended. What could be wrong? This food is prepared in my home, by my people, my best meal. I'm on holidays, man. I'm not fasting. You know, God doesn't repeat himself when he's dealing with vessel unto honor. Son, don't eat. Him. And he kept quiet. I ate. I'm sure you are thinking maybe they poisoned the food. No. As soon as I finished eating, a messenger came from my elder sister. You are wanted urgently. Your elder sister is dying. We heard you are in town. Come. I followed them. I got to my elder sister, and I saw him covered from head to toe with smallpox. I'm talking of several years ago. Ooh, you don't face smallpox with a belly full of pounded yam. I ran to the back of the house, put my hand into my throat, and vomited the food. And then I can now come back and face the devil. And while all that one was going on, God said, I warned you. Is there anybody here today who say, from now I will obey God? Raise your hand and let him see. From now on, Lord, I will obey you. Instant obedience. Second thing that is common to all the military, paramilitary, police is submission to authority.